Hey crafters, welcome to a new session with Creative Memories. Today we are going to work on a Croptoberfest project recipe. I hope you've had a chance to purchase one off the Creative Memories Canada website. And in your kit, you get your project recipe guide, and that gives you information on your 4 pages, a cutting guide, and you get a set of stickers. You get sheets of designer paper, 6 sheets, and they are double-sided, which is so beautiful. And then 2 sheets of cardstock. You get crimson and pear. So thanks for joining us. We're gonna get started. Let's go.
Hi, this is Caleb, and I'd like to welcome you to Croptoberfest 2020. I'm sitting here in my favorite place on the planet, a place filled with memories of my kids from the young years and family who are here right now, and the nature is beautiful as well, as you can see. It's hard to believe it's a pretty topsy-turvy world out there while I'm sitting here. But there you are at a Croptoberfest event with your advisor, and that's also wonderful. That's a refuge. Creative memories time, fun, connecting, making new friends, doing something meaningful, keeping those family memories that are so important preserved. That's what it's all about. So Croptoberfest is different this year, but we're adapting and we're going to make it the best ever. So we're glad you can join these festivities. You're going to have a blast. I'm looking forward to hearing about it, and enjoy, and all the best safety and health to your families. Take care.
I want to thank you for your patience as we work to keep everybody safe in our facility. That meant changes to the way we used to do things, and appreciate your understanding as we continue to manufacture and ship your products with care.
From our customer service team, I want to say thank you for your patience. COVID-19 brought many challenges to our small team, but we want to thank you for your graciousness, your gratefulness, and occasional patience as we work through to support you.
Hey everyone! I just wanted to say thank you for putting your trust in us and the CM brand while we continue to bring you fun and original collections, new tools for all of your album making and crafting needs. Happy scrapbooking!
It's been so heartwarming to see how you have all pulled together during these wild times that we are living in, and how you haven't missed a beat. Caring for your customers, caring for your team members, supporting each other. It's been incredible. And we have heard from so many people who say they need us now more than they ever have. Our community is their bright spot and it's their happy place. And that is all thanks to you. So you guys are amazing.
We want to thank our advisors for thinking outside the box and running with virtual events to stay connected to your communities. We have been so encouraged to see the growth and connections happening every week.
We have seen many customers and new advisors finding creative memories during these challenging times, and we welcome you back.
And now it's Croptoberfest season, and we could not be more excited to share the spirit of scrapbooking with you over the next few months.
So get your photos, your punches, your trimmer, your kits, your creative minds, and your gorgeous smiles ready, because we would like to welcome you to
The Croptoberfest project recipe is very easy to read. There are 4 sheets, and the first sheet gives you the spread of your finished products, and it also has instructions at the bottom. This video you can pause if we're going too fast, and so you'll do 4 pages. Spread 1, which is 2 pages and has the instructions on the front, and spread 2, which has the instructions on the bottom, and then you have your cutting guide. So it chooses each of your papers, so you match the papers. to this cutting guide and a few things you need to know. So the black lines on the cutting guides are where you cut. And the slashed gray areas right here are items that you don't use. So that can be seen here also. The letters will all match up with the assembly guide. So each piece that you cut has a letter associated, A, B, C, D, and that will match up to your project recipe. And so there you go, there's C, and then the other pieces, there's B, E, A, F. So they're all, it's kind of like a puzzle. So we're gonna get started with the cutting guide, and you're gonna cut out on 4 sheets of designer paper, and then we're going to puzzle it together and assemble the 4 pages.
Let's get started with our Croptoberfest project recipe kit. We have all of the pieces of the project recipe kit ready to go. They've been included in your kit. Starting with the cutting guide, we are going to create 2 double-page spreads with the 6 sheets of designer paper and the 2 sheets of cardstock that are included. So the first sheet that we want to cut is designer paper 1, which is our apples paper. This paper we will keep vertical. And when we make our first cut, which is piece A, we will place it in our trimmer at 12 inches long and cut a 2-inch strip. And then we will take 1 inch off the end to make it an 11 by 2-inch strip. We'll set that aside. And then if you have any extra paper, such as the 1 inch, you'll place that aside because you can use that later. Then the next piece is piece B, which we're cutting again at our 12 inches long and a 3-inch strip. We're also taking a 1-inch piece off of the end of this one as well. And again, we set that 3-inch piece aside, and the extra 1-inch strip gets placed aside. Then we take the remainder of the paper and we place it in our trimmer. We extend the arm of our trimmer, and we'll cut a 5.5-inch piece, which will reverse this piece when we're placing it on our layout later. And then the last piece is a 1.5-inch strip that is perfectly cut already. So we are finished with piece 1. We're moving on to designer paper 2 now, and it is the apples and leaves piece of paper. And our first piece is E, and we're going to cut this piece at a 2-inch strip by 12, and then we'll take 1 inch off the end. So we'll make it 11 by 2. And again, we place the 11 by 2 piece aside, and then piece F is an 11 by 3 inch. So we're cutting that at a 12 inch by 3. We turn it horizontal and we'll take 1 inch off the side. So it will become an 11 by 3 inch piece. Super easy recipe. We love our project recipes. And again, we'll place that 3-inch piece to the side, and then we put the remainder of the paper back in. This next piece is a 1.5-inch strip. So we will make that cut. And then the next cut after the 1.5-inch strip will be pieces H and I. So we are going to place that vertically and cut at 4 inches. And then we're going to turn that 4 by 12 inch piece sideways and cut at 6 inches. So we will have 2 4 by 6 inch pieces from that. We also reverse those. Those will turn into mats. And then our last piece is a 4.5 by 1.5. So it's a 1.5-inch strip, and we just trim that to 1.5. And those pieces complete designer paper 2. Designer paper 3 is taking our dark blue sheet of tonal paper, and we're cutting K through S. So our first strip will be cut at 3 inches, and then we turn that one sideways and we will trim that at 4. and we'll trim it again at 4. So we will end up with 3 blocks that are 3 inches by 4 inches. Super easy to use our trimmer. If you do not have a Creative Memories trimmer, you need one. This one is also going to be cut again at 3 inches. And just like K, L, and M, the N, O, and P pieces will be also 3 by 4 inch blocks. So you can tell this is very easy. It is a simple recipe and it's going to look amazing when we're done cutting. Then our remainder piece goes in our trimmer and we're cutting at our 4 inch blocks because we have a 6 by 12 inch piece of paper. So we're making 3 mats that are 6 inches by 4 inches, and those 3 are completed. Oh my goodness, we're already done with 3 of our sheets. And now we're on designer paper 4, which is our light blue tonal paper. And our first cut will be at 6.5. And then we turn that sideways and we will cut at 4.5 for our first mat. And then we will do the same thing again. We will cut at 4.5 for our second mat. And then this last block, we will turn sideways, so we'll turn horizontal, and we will cut at 3 inches. So those will be 3.25 by 3 inches. Then our last piece is a 5.5 by 12 inch block, and we are done with our cutting. Great job, everyone. The next part we are going to go through together are tips for cutting the points. So we have 4 pieces, piece A, piece B, piece E, and F, and designer paper 1 is where we're starting. So we pre-cut this first strip at 11 inches by 2 inches, and we want that to have a point. So we're going to show you a couple of simple ways to make this happen. The first one is just marking your paper. So going down the center of this 11 by 2 inch block of paper, we're going to mark at 1 inch in the center. Then we're using the centering ruler from Creative Memories. You can use any ruler. You're going to go in on each side approximately 1 inch so that when you take your scissors or your trimmer, you're going to make a V shape, a point shape at the end of this paper. And right now we're just marking from the side point to the end point so that you'll see a V shape taking place with our pencil drawing and the ruler. So we are finished with piece A, and that's ready for the trimmer. Then piece B, and this is our apples paper. We are taking the 11 by 3 inch piece of paper, and again we're taking our ruler, and on this 3 inch piece of paper we are going to find 1.5 inches on our center. So this is a centering ruler, so it's pretty easy it's 3 inches across, so it makes it super easy to use this one. And then we are going in on each side approximately 1 inch. And then again, this is an easy way to make a point because we go from the end to the side and make that V shape happen. You can also do this with a template, so you can draw from extra paper that you have. You can use scissors, so you can actually fold a piece of paper that's 2 or 3 inches wide, and then you can cut from the side to the end, and then you can use that as a template. This just makes it exact using the ruler and then using our trimmer. In the Creative Memories trimmer, you can also use our 45-degree angle. So next we're going to go to designer paper 2, and we pre-cut pieces E and F, and this is our apples and leaves paper. So we're starting with piece E, which is an 11 by 2 inch strip. And again, we're just copying exactly what we did for pieces A and B. We're using our centering ruler. We're finding the center of this 2 inch strip and making a mark. And then we're going to take our ruler and approximately 1 inch on each side from the top, we will make another mark. And then once we've done that, we'll make our V shape again. And this just makes it super easy to get the right cut. When you're using a kit like a project recipe kit, you want to make sure that you don't mess up because it's easy to do and then you don't have spare paper. So it's really nice to know exactly what you're doing with your paper. And sometimes I practice ahead of time, so I might have some spare paper that I practice things like this on. So I might use my scissors and make a template, or I might try it out and decide what works the best. So again, we're just doing the same thing to piece F with our 3-inch piece, and we're going down the center to find our middle piece, which is 1.5 inches in, and then we're marking both sides. So we're going approximately 1 inch down from the top, and then we're just going to make our V shape. So once we're done with all our markings and using our ruler, then we'll go back to our Creative Memories trimmer. So we're going to get our 12-inch trimmer out, and we're just going to go mark to mark and make our V shapes. Now, if we wanted to, I have made these using the 45-degree angle on the Creative Memories trimmer. The way we're teaching you today, anybody can do this with any trimmer or any pair of scissors. So now we're just taking that V shape and we're going point to point, and we're going to take a V shape off, and you'll be left with a point on the end of each strip. So you'll have your 4 strips ready to go with the points, and this will be ready for assembly. So super easy to use the Creative Memories trimmer. If you haven't used the Creative Memories trimmer, you will want to look this up in your catalog, online, in person. It's one of the best tools available, and we love our Creative Memories trimmer, and it has different blades. You can do so many things with it. So you can see how easy it is to cut the project recipe kit using the Creative Memories trimmer. And we are just about done with cutting the points, and then we'll be ready for assembly. So hasn't this been easy? So there are so many ways to do different things, and we're excited that you're creating the project recipe kit with us today. So we will move on to assembly next. Thanks, everyone.
The first feature is the extendable ruler, which measures up to 16 inches. With high contrast black print on a white base, it allows for very accurate cuts and easy to see measurements in both English and metric measurements. The bold lines on the white base indicate the most commonly cut photo and mat sizes. There is a self-healing cutting mat, which has 4 positions that the blade can run down. Each number can cut 500 times for a total of 2,000 cuts before you have to change out the cutting mat. The blade housing runs on an aluminum double track, which allows for ultimate stability and control, resulting in straight cuts every time. There is a white indicator line on the side of the blade housing. This line shows you where the blade will come in contact with your paper first. We've also invented the new sight line. So this is something that is completely unique to the Creative Memories trimmer. What it allows you to do is it's a clear plastic window that has a black line on it that shows you where the cut will be. So especially for papers that aren't flush on the side, let's say they're cut at a slant, or papers that are floating in the middle that you can't push to the top edge or bottom edge. This allows you to see to make sure that your paper is straight or that your paper is going to cut where you want it to cut. The trimmer also has interchangeable safety blades. A straight blade is included with each trimmer. Each blade is encased in a safety cover so sharp edges are never exposed when cutting paper, changing the blade, or changing the cutting mat. To use the trimmer, hold one of the blue ends of the cutting arm and lift up. Place your paper in the desired location aligning with measurement grid and lower the cutting arm. Start at one end, press the blade housing down to engage the blade and push down all the way on the track to cut the paper. Lift the arm and remove your paper. There is also built-in storage, so when you flip over your trimmer, you will see that the underside of the trimmer has built-in storage for up to 12 cutting blades and an additional mat strip. To remove the blades, press down and slide over. You'll also see that on the edge of the ruler is a foot for stability. You'll want to pull that out when the ruler is engaged so that it gives extra stability to the trimmer. Also included on the underside of the base are 4 rubberized feet, which allow for security and also safety to protect surfaces that your trimmer is sitting on. A straight blade comes with every trimmer. We are also launching and will continue to launch alternate blades. To remove the blades from the housing, open the blade housing lid by lifting the latch on the side. Remove the blade cassette and replace with a different one. We also have a scoring blade, which is great for card making or just scoring a page before you have to fold it over. That's the orange blade. And the green blade is a wave cartridge. This gives you a nice wave design at the edge of your paper. Each one of these blades will cut up to 1,500 cuts before you need to replace.
It's time for paper piecing. And we will start with the spread 1 for the project recipe of Croptoberfest 2020. The instructions say use the pear stripe designer paper and the crimson cardstock for the base. Next, the pieces that we created the points on, so pieces A and B and pieces E and F, we will place where it says to. Both the A and E pieces are on the bottom, and the F and B pieces are at the top. So you just follow the guide. The A piece is on the right spread at the bottom, the B piece is at the top on the left, and then the E piece is on the bottom to the left, and the F piece is on the top to the right. Then we add the 2 square pieces, which are pieces V and W marked. And then we also add our 2 large mats, which are 6.5 by 4.5. They're light blue and they're from our designer paper 4, and they're pieces T and U. And then we paper piece our smaller dark blue pieces, so that's KLM on the left side and NOP on the right side. So all we're doing is making sure that we have the correct pieces for each page of the spread. And then we start adhering the pieces. So you'll see that we're first adding the apple pieces. So this is adhesive on the back of piece A, and this is at the bottom on the right side of our spread. So the apple's paper. And then the next one we're adding is the matte piece. So this is piece U, and this is on the light blue paper. So we are adding that matte over piece A. And then we're also adding our piece P, which is our darker blue, and that is a 3x4 framed piece, a matte piece. And then we're also adding our piece at the right hand corner. So this is one of our pieces that we cut out from W on the right side and V on the left side. And then the next piece we're adding is our 3-inch strip piece, which is piece F. So this came out of our apples and leaves paper. And then we add the next 2 dark blue mats, and these are pieces N and O. And so these are also 3x4 pieces. So you can see already that this spread is taking shape, and we can either add our 4x6 photos, we can add our smaller photos, which we have the sizes for, or we can overlap them. We can do whatever we want. This is just a guide. It's whatever is pleasing to us. Then we start adhering the left-hand side. So that bottom piece is piece E, and so that is our 11x2 that we've cut the point on. And then the next piece is, again, the larger mat. So this is piece T, and that was our 6.5 by 4.5 inch mat cut from designer paper 4 of light blue. Then we're adding the block in the left-hand corner, a little bit, maybe 1/2 inch from the top. So that piece is piece V, and when we cut that one out, that was our 3¼ by 3 inch block. Then we've got our 3-inch by 11-inch strip, which has a point, and that's our apples paper. So this is piece B going over the block. This really is a beautiful layout. It really looks awesome. Then we started adhering our other 3 mats, which are K, L, and M, and those pieces are 3x4s. So we've actually got 6 mats that are that size, and then we've got our 2 larger mats. So again, you can add your 4x6 photos, you can overlap, you can add journal boxes, you can add more decorative pieces such as the embellishments and the stickers. It's completely up to you. And you're doing a great job so far with this. If you've never used a cutting guide before, well done. And in just a few minutes, you can see that this is taking shape and that spread 1 is almost done. And then once you have adhered all the pieces, you'll add your photos and you'll add your decorative pieces, and you will have a complete layout in no time. So great job, everyone. Now we're ready to assemble Project Recipe Kit Spread 2. We start with our base pieces, which are the plaid patterned designer paper and the pear cardstock. The first pieces we're going to adhere to our base pieces are piece C and piece X. And piece C is our 12 by 5.5 piece from our apples paper, and we reverse that. And then our other 5.5 by 12 piece is X, and that's from designer paper 4, our light blue paper. And we are putting the light blue piece in the 5.5 by 12 inch spot. These pieces are adhered approximately 2.5 inches from the top of the paper, and these will anchor the rest of the spread with our strips. So next the pieces will be piece D on the right, and piece D is from designer paper 1, the apples paper, 12.5 by 1.5 inch strip. And then on the left, that's piece G, and that's a 12 inch by 1.5 inch strip from designer paper 2, the apples and leaves. And then we start adhering our mats. So the mat pieces that we're using on the left hand side of the spread will be pieces H, piece I, and piece Q. These are all 6 by 4 inch mats, and they are from designer paper 2 and designer paper 3. And you'll see that we've used the dark blue side on all 3 of these mats. Now, we do give you the photo sizes, so you can add the photos of your choice, or you can decide to overlap photos, use smaller photos, or really just whatever you would like. It's whatever is pleasing to you, and you can add more journaling, you can add more photos. We just get you started with the project recipe layout. On the right-hand side of this layout, we are also adding mats R, S, and those are also our 6 by 4 pieces. Those have been cut from designer paper 3 on the dark blue sheet. And we also are adding piece J, which is a 4.5 by 1.5 inch piece. This is a decorative piece that will add a little bit of embellishment or journal box too. And so in just a minute, you can see that we've got the layout done. By adding our pictures and a few embellishments and stickers, you have a completed spread. It's beautiful. Well done, everyone. Great job on assembling the Croptoberfest Project Recipe Kit, Spread 1 and 2. Great job.
Hey, scrappers. So now that we have cut out all the pieces for the project recipe, we've cut out our points, we have then adhered down and created our 4-page layout. Now what we need to do is cut our pictures. So this is the fun and exciting part, next step to completing your pages. So let's set aside our completed pages and let's look at our photos. So what you need to do is you need to go back to the project recipe, and you'll see a layout completed of the project recipe. Then you will also see the completed project recipe with the actual dimensions of how you need to cut your photos. So let's start with the easy photos first. So 6x4, these 2 photos, you don't need to cut. You simply need to adhere them to your page. So let's do that. So taking your tape runner, simply put dots. We're using the Creative Memories repositionable tape today. And that means that I can put down some tape in dots. And if I decide, oops, that's a little bit crooked, I can simply take that up and reposition it more sturdy. So the repositionable tape goes on dots, and the dots adhere to the spot on your paper and again, reposition. And so let's keep going. So here we have 3 photos on both sides, and we're going to use the personal trimmer. So the personal trimmer is a very cute cutting tool from Creative Memories. It has measurements on it. It's well used because I love it so much. And now we're going to cut a 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 photo. And so what you need to do is do your first cut. Make sure your photo is tight up against this edge for a straight cut. And so what I did first is I decided that's where I can cut off. And then I'm going to turn my photo over and go to the 2 3/4 mark. And then cut. And then again, I'm going to start at the bottom, and this area at the bottom of my photo, I don't need in the picture. So I'm going to cut that off. And my next measurement is 3 3/4. And so then I'm going to put my photo in at 3 3/4. And you can see where it's going to cut. It's going to cut very close onto the head of my uncle. And so I'm going to go back and snip off more off the bottom, because what I'd like to do is I'd like to have a couple of apples from the apple tree on the top of my photo. So I'm going to take off more off the bottom because that's not as important to me. And then clip that off, and then that's perfect for my photo. Okay, so we're going to keep going. We've got this cute picture. So again, I'm going to cut off where I would like the photo. I don't want to cut off the top of her head. So again, we're cutting 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. So this is my 2 3/4 cut, which is going to be just perfect. And then, let's see, I'm going to cut off this side first. Turn my photo over, now measure it at 3 1/4 and do my cut. Perfect. So now I've got 2 photos cut, and for these 3 position, and I have my last photo to cut. So I'm going to, by the way, I printed at home for this, and so I have a little white edge. If you're printing, otherwise you can print your photos right to the edge. So just to let you know, I was printing at home. So I'm going to cut my first here. Again, it's 2 3/4. So let's see where that falls. 2 3/4 falls just perfectly. It's going to cut the outside of his shoulder, and actually I'm going to clip just a little bit off the edge, a little bit more, I don't want to cut off as much of his shoulders. So you can see you sort of need to play around. This personal trimmer from Creative Memories is a must-have. So that's my width, and I like that. I'm going to start at the top this time because I do want to catch that apple. And then I'm going to go down for my 3 3/4 cut. Perfect. So let's keep going. Now we're going to cut 3 photos on the other side. So here are my 3 photos. More apple orchard photos. Okay, so similar concept, and you just need to decide what you want framed in your picture. So for me, in this picture, I obviously want my niece's hand with the apple. I'll probably take a little more off there. Okay, so then I have 2 3/4. I'm going to turn that around and see how much is cut off. And that is perfect. I don't want to cut the top of her head, so that's going to be my next cut. And then turning it around, my last cut is at 3 3/4. So perfect. I have my first photo for that picture. And again, I cut off one side, turn it so that you get your next 2 3/4. And so I'm going to start with the top because I definitely want that little apple in there that's above her head. And so then my last cut again is 3 3/4. One more cut for this collage of pictures on our Croptoberfest project recipe. So for me, I really do like those apples on top. So I'm going to try and see how many of those apples I can get and still get a full view at the bottom. So let's see how this works out. 2 3/4. I think that's going to work. So let's line it up. 2 3/4. And then again, this side of the picture I am not as fussed with, but I definitely do want to get the apples on the other side. So I cut that side first and then measure 3 3/4 and look and say, okay, what I'm cutting off is good. And so there we go. So let's just adhere these photos. So we've adhered How's everybody doing? I hope you're enjoying this beautiful layout. There's so much opportunity with this kit. You can buy more than one. You can create the 4-page project recipe, or you can get creative and do whatever you'd like. So that's page 1 done. And then let's just adhere our photos for this page. And the next photo. And then the last photo, eating an apple. Okay, so that is how you decide how your photos are arranged and cut your photos.
it's Sherry Reeland from Product Development. I get the privilege to do some unboxing with you today. So first we're going to unbox Hello Autumn, and as we go through I'm going to give you a little tidbits as to why we did what we did, and hopefully maybe a few things that you'll learn a few things that you didn't know. And then on this second box we actually have a sneak peek of some up-and-coming collections. So without further ado, let's dig in. So Hello Autumn is our fall collection, and so as you can see from the cover, it's got a nice deep rich palette. The cover has a nice kind of tonal leaf pattern going on, and the colors inside, so you've got a little orange going on, some natural grains going, there's a red, there's a green, and then there's a pretty blue color as well. But you can kind of get a feel for the overall collection by its rich, deep palette that you'll see kind of follow through. So with this collection, we actually have two paper packs. There is a designer paper pack and a tonal paper pack. And so what the difference between these two paper packs is that typically in a designer paper pack, you'll see more colors used on a sheet. And sometimes there's icons, so like on this one, I know it's hard to see, but there's a larger leaf pattern, and then here as well, it's multicolored leaves put together. We do also try to balance on the back side of some of those that have a lot of colors going on, and softer, more tonal, so that when they go together, they work actually really well together. And then to coordinate also is the tonal paper pack. So this tonal paper pack, as you can see, actually uses the same plaid design over and over, and it's one in every color. And then the back side as well is kind of a seashell kind of scallop pattern, and that's the same, and it's just very soft, one color used. And so the two of them, the two paper packs, actually go very well together when you layer them on top of each other, or when you're adding embellishments. They do wonderfully. So speaking of embellishments, this palette Hello Autumn also has some embellishments, or some bling that comes with. Who doesn't like bling? And then there's also accented foil. So this adds a nice but subtle pop to the embellishments, and they work really well together. So very much impromptu, you can kind of throw together some of the different leaf shapes, and then there's some fun little sayings that come. So imagine this on your page, kind of creating a little cluster. Foam squares do wonders for popping them too, if you'd like, or you can kind of keep them just with the adhesive. But very quickly you can kind of give a little cluster, which adds a lot of fun to your layout. This one also has some tags which you can write on, so you could create your own little memories or sayings on these. So that's the embellishment. As always, there's a sheet or 3 sheets of stickers. So in this instance, here are your borders, and then these 2 sheets have the icons and titles on them. This sheet has nice pops of color, and then this sheet has a few more neutrals, which both are really good for those deep papers. So on this one, like, those whites are gonna pop, but then on that tonal sheet that we had talked about, these nice colors will pop. So again, everything very much coordinates together. There's mats, so 4.5 by 6.5, and also 4 by 6, so good for journaling, and also good for matting those fall leaf photos that you have. We also have, in coordinating, is a Hello Autumn journal template. So these journal templates have been very popular. So what you'll need is one of the Creative Memories pens, and then you can trace along the template. So you can design your own borders, some icons, some bubbles, word bubbles if you'd like. There's also some journaling lines on here if you want to make sure you're uber straight when you're journaling. There is also Apple recipe template. So these recipe templates have endless possibilities. This one is great for not only fall with the orchard pictures, but also back to school pictures, just, you know, the apple eating contest we have at Halloween time. So as you can see too, you know, there's all the different ways that you can do multiple layouts. This gives you a couple on the insert that comes with this, but again, multiple possibilities of your different layouts that you can have. And last but not least, definitely, are some tools that come with this collection. So I'll pull out the arch border frame punch. So this is a frame punch, and you might ask what's different between a frame punch and a border punch. So the frame punches can do borders. So here's the design in a 12-inch border, and it stays on the paper. But you also can do a frame around. So as you can see, oh, this side looks like it shows a little bit better. So as you can see, if you start, this was starting with a 6x6 square, and then it'll cut around so you actually can have a frame. These are really fun for, you could add a photo in here, or like I had before, your little cluster of embellishments that you do. It just kind of adds that extra element onto your layout page. There is also a really fun apple border BMC, super cute, one of my favorites. You know, I get the privilege of testing these well before anybody else sees them, and so, you know, it's like, this was one that when I did it, it was like, oh, this one is very cute. And again, endless, you know, not only fall time, but also the back to school time, the fruit cooking, you know, layouts that you have, it'll work with all of those. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention on this frame. So here's another cute little fun fact, is this is the fallout. So let me put it up against my whiteboard. If you can see, I know through product suggestions, I have had some people ask for tabs. Well, look at what you just got by the fallout. So basically that's what comes out of this inside piece right here. So you can make your own little tabs also with this punch. So let me push all of this away and let's get to the box that everybody's super excited about, right? So drum roll. I almost would sing for you if my voice would allow it, but I think everyone would hit mute on me. But let's take a sneak peek at, I think it's beginning to look a little like Christmas. So Christmas spirit. So let's gander at what this looks like. So beautiful, rich pages. So there's some stockings and a fun plaid. So again, backed by popular demand are the very much greens and reds, traditional colors. There's a dear Santa, you know, so we have a nice, again, tonal dot pattern, simple. And then on the other side is a dear Santa letter. So for you or your kids to leave out for good old Santa. And there's some reindeer and some beautiful pine. We've got a fun paper green with gingerbread and candy canes and stars. And there's, of course, the traditional striped patterns. We've also added in kind of just a fun neutral grain pattern that goes with this. And we've done kind of a countdown. If any of you do countdown to Christmas, here's the 25 days of Christmas. So you can cut this up and tuck it in, or have your kids do fun activities with this, or even if you do something fun every day of December, you know, it can be your cute little countdown. We've also got some fun music notes. And last but not least, again, here is kind of a fun, you can cut tags. This bottom one is a border. Here's some journaling boxes. So a little bit of everything on this one for you to enjoy. So it's, again, a deep, rich palette. Should I see if there's any more in here? We've got stickers. So We've got some ho 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 Santas and some cute little elves on here and some stars, you name it, you got it. Anything Christmas related. And then again, there's some borders and some fun sayings on this one as well. We've got embellishments. Again, there's some bling and pearls that come with this one. And then just a bunch of really fun. So here's little woodwork shop, and there's the fireplace. A bunch of super adorable reindeer that you can layer up. And of course, what are the reindeer without Santa sleigh? So as you can see, we definitely have put these together with the thought of clustering in mind. So there's some trees, and then we've also got some sayings in here. You know, who doesn't make cookies at Christmas time, or all year round for that fact. And then there's also, I'm getting there. So this one goes with the Dear Santa list. So you can leave out the milk and cookies for Santa with the list. There's a bunch of different fun little elves in here. There's more than I'm showing you, but I'm just trying to pull out the fun ones in here. Of course, we can't leave Santa without Miss Claus. So as you can see, again, very traditional, very fun. You kind of get a feel for the artwork style that's going on. And then again, last but definitely not least, that's the end of my box. We've got punches. So we have a reindeer punch that coordinates size-wise perfectly with the sleigh punch. So they're sized to go together, so you can create your own sleigh ride layout across, because of course you're going to need to punch a few reindeer for this sleigh. We also have a stocking BMC that goes, if you actually size it right, if you remember I showed you this fireplace, if you punch these stockings, they will actually layer right on top of the fireplace. So yes, it's all been thought through. The designers did a fabulous job with all of our collections, and hopefully you're seeing that, how they coordinate together between the stickers layering on embellishments, and you know, the embellishments coordinating with papers, and the punches coordinating with everything else. So it has been my privilege to be able to give you a run through of Hello Autumn, and also a little sneak peek, because there's definitely more than what I showed you of Christmas spirit. I hope you enjoyed it. See you all.
We've been having so much fun with Creative Memories, creating, and I just wanted to share a fun opportunity where if you love the personal trimmer, if you love our new 12-inch trimmer that has all these great cutting blades, if you love Creative Memories products, our scrapbooking supplies, paper, embellishments, if you love to craft, if you love to create beautiful albums, we have an incredible opportunity with Creative Memories right now. So if you are interested in joining Creative Memories as an advisor, the opportunity is amazing. So it's a yearly fee of $59, and you get this beautiful exclusive album. This album cannot be purchased in any other way. It is a beautiful album that has this incredible foiling and texturing, and it is called the Vivid Blue Sparkle Petal Album Cover. So this album comes with pages and protectors and catalogs. Its value is $82.50. So for the year, membership with Creative Memories, you get your exclusive album. You can't purchase this anywhere. And you get pages and page protectors. And you get catalogs so that you can share with other people. You get a $15 product credit to purchase towards any product that you might like. So for example, if you don't have this 12-inch trimmer and you wanted it, you get $15 off. Or if there's any product that you want from Creative Memories, you'll get $15 off. So $82.50 plus a $15 credit puts you close to $100 in free Creative Memories product, and you're paying $59 for the year. And so what else happens during that year is that everything that you buy from Creative Memories, you are now purchasing as an advisor, and you get 10% off, which is super, super exciting. And the more you purchase, or the more your friends purchase, the more discount you get on your Creative Memories product. So for example, if you purchase more than $650 in product, Canadian dollars, very easy to do, then you move up to what's called level 2, and you get 25% off of everything that you purchase. This is a year membership, along with the discount on product. You get lots of perks. There are exclusive products that we bring out that are for advisors only. So as an advisor, you can purchase that. As a customer, you cannot. We have a really uncomplicated plan. So as an advisor, there's no minimums, there's no pressure. You can do as little or as much as you'd like. And you also have a website where you can share with other friends who like to create and craft. And you know, we are constantly recognizing and supporting you as advisors. You get to look at product ahead of time, so that's a great perk as an advisor. And you also get access to what's called project recipes. And our project recipes are 2-page layouts that we create every time we launch a product. So this is an example of Hello Autumn, and this is a 2-page layout, and we give you the project recipe similar to the Croptoberfest project recipe. You can access project recipes if you are a customer. You can only access those as an advisor. So wonderful opportunity with Creative Memories. Hope you join us as an advisor. Hope you're enjoying the Carnival. Cheers.